Hello everyone, in this video we'll be solving problem 93, restore IP addresses. The problem statement is, we are given a string containing only digits. We need to return all possible valid IP addresses that can be formed by inserting periods or dots into S. In example number 1, with this as our input, there are two possible combinations of IP addresses that can be formed by placing periods in them. This is a good example where we can apply backtracking to solve it. Now let's switch to whiteboard and discuss how it can be applied. In an IP address, there should be 4 periods placed inside the string, thus separating the entire string into 4 substrings. So we can place the periods at different positions in the given string and try to build different combinations of IP addresses. This is where backtracking is the most effective way, as it allows us to apply a certain combination, undo that and try a different combination of building the IP address. Let's run a quick simulation by placing the period right after the first character, that is between 1 and 0. So the first segment of the IP address will be 1, the remainings are empty, and for the next run or the next set, the characters that are available to us are everything starting from 0 all the way to the end. So for the next segment, we'll repeat the same cycle by placing the period right after 0 and before 1. So far we have 1.0 in the IP address and the remaining characters are 1023. Now we'll repeat the same cycle by placing the period right after 1 and before 0. As we have already placed two periods, the last value that is available to us is 023, which is not valid, as the IP address cannot have 0 as the leading character, so we cannot build an IP address with this combination. So we need to undo the operation and try to place the previous period at a different position. That is, instead of placing between 1 and 0, we'll place it between 0 and 2. So my new IP address would be 1.0.10. The remaining characters, which is 23, which seems to be a valid IP address. And as it is valid, we'll save it to the output collection. For the next cycle, we'll try a different combination by placing the period between 2 and 3, giving us a different IP address. As it is valid, we'll again save it to the output. Similarly, we'll try to place periods at different positions to see if we can build a valid and unique IP addresses and save it to the output. Once the entire iteration is complete, we will return the value saved in the output variable. With this solution, our time complexity is O of 3 raised to power 4, where 3 is the size of each of the segment in the given IP address and 4 is the number of segments in the given IP addresses. As the size of each segment cannot be more than 3, the total possibility of placing the period is 3, and as we are running recursive loops at each combination, the depth for each combination will be 4. Hence, it is 3 raised to power 4, giving us the total of 81, which can also be represented as O of 1 time complexity. While the space complexity is also same, that is O of 3 raised to power 4, as we are maintaining the value of all the possible combinations that we have built during the recursive loops. I hope you were able to understand the explanation. Let me show you how we can implement this using C#. Here's the C# solution. In the main method, I'm initializing my return value, which is a list of string, to record all of the valid IP addresses. After that, I have a couple of validation based on the length of the input string. Post validation, I am calling the backtrack method, which will help me build all the possible combinations of IP addresses. In the backtrack method, I'm first checking if the total segments that we have collected so far is equals to 4 and the length of all of the segments combined is equal to the length of the input string. If yes, it means that we found a valid IP address, so we can add it to the results variable. If not, then we are checking if the segment count is 4 and the length of all of the segments is less than the current length of the string. If that is the case, it means we did not build a right or a valid IP address, so we need to return and try a different combination. If either of the conditions are not met, it means that we have not figured out all the segment needed for an IP address. So I'm starting a for loop to add a new segment to the current list segments, try a different combination of placing the periods at different positions, and recursively call the backtrack method. After we have gone through that cycle, I remove the element or the segment that we have added and then try a different combination by placing the period at a different position. Once all of the recursive loops are complete, we will return results as our output. This code, when submitted on LeetCode, beats 84% of the submissions in terms of runtime and 65% in terms of memory. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you were able to understand the explanation. The details to access the source code is available in the description below. Feel free to check that out, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.